Coming to the stage to present the award for Print Journalist of the Year, please welcome Voted Loud board member Sui Lang Panok.
Aloha. So it is such an honor to be here, and this being a multicultural event, I wanted to integrate a small piece of my culture. In Hawaii, we honor each other through fresh flower lace. So I brought this gift for our honoree, for the print journalist. Helen is a dear friend of mine. She is a fierce writer and author and a tremendous voice for the Asian Pacific Islander community. So join me in welcoming our Print Journalist of the Year, Helen Zia.
Thank you, Sue Lang. My Pacific Islander sister, Sue Lang, and I met when she was on the chair. She was on the board of the National Asian Pacific American Women's Forum, and she's just a force to be seen. I hope everybody gets to know Sue Lang, and I just want to thank her and to say that I am so honored and humbled to receive this recognition and to stand before this distinguished body and what you all stand for in bringing America's diverse voices to the front. More than 40 years ago, I started out as a freelance journalist in Detroit, Michigan, after getting laid off from my job at a Chrysler factory. And I wanted to tell the story of the destruction of the labor movement in this African-American city. And, well, no surprise, no editor really cared to assign an unknown Asian-American freelance journalist to cover a story that they did not deem significant. But I persisted, and one day I did write that story. And in a short time that I have, I'd like to share a couple of lessons that I learned from my journey as a Chinese-American girl, daughter of immigrants, growing up in Willingboro, New Jersey, at a time when being an alien immigrant meant that you came from Mars. So lesson number one, our diverse voices matter more than ever in this dangerous transitional time in America. When I was a young reporter in Detroit, it was another time of intense hatred and division. And a young Chinese-American man named Vincent Chin was beaten to death in Detroit by two white auto workers because he looked Japanese. Today, bigotry and Islamophobia have turned anybody who looks Muslim into a target. We know that. Well, in 1982, I was a journalist, a budding journalist, but I also became an activist against racial profiling, and I then helped to organize a national civil rights campaign. My editors didn't fire me, but they told me I could never write for them about this issue. And I went along with that at the time. I was grateful to have my job. But today I would argue that journalists from affected communities should be encouraged to report on their communities. It's no different, really, from white male reporters who have for years been writing about their communities, right? And even today, reading the newspapers and coming here, there are the reports about who's reporting on the disaffected white working class that feels that people of color and women have cut in front of them in line. And that's the story that's getting reported. I know there's more of a story, and journalists of color should be there reporting on it. Lesson number 2, we cannot depend on the mainstream media to tell our multicultural stories. And I echo Congresswoman Clark in saying that we must create and control our own media. 30 years ago, there was another multicultural coalition called Unity Journalists of Color, and I was there when it was founded. Unity did many good things, and it was made up of Black, Hispanic, Asian, and Native American journalists. But Unity had one flaw to it. It depended on mainstream journalism for funding and jobs. And so as the media business model has unraveled, so has Unity. And also the politics of division set in a way. And partly over the issue of LGBT journalists and whether they should be included as equals. Now I want to say that the politics of division is a poison, and we must not drink that Kool-Aid. For example, there are those who question whether Asian Americans are truly people of color. And I have had that conversation many times, saying instead that Asians really are the new whites. And well, I just want to say here briefly that actually the Supreme Court even said that Asians are not white. And I tell you, on the street, when people see this skin and they see these eyes, and when they hear people speaking with an Asian accent, the welcome wagon does not roll out. And that is another reason why I am so proud and so honored to be here and included in this multicultural media correspondence dinner. Thank you. So I would just like to end with this challenge. As we all know, soon America will have a people of color majority. And there are about 10 states in America that have already passed that threshold. And that's why we are watching this last gasp, right, of supremacy trying to hold on to its privilege. But the genie of our diversity is out of the bottle, and there is no way it is going back. So our challenge, I believe, is to imagine a world where multicultural people control the media, control Main Street, control Wall Street. And that day will come. It's what our challenge is to imagine what that will look like, and not that it will be just a rainbow of the status quo. Instead, it has to be a vision of what it means for diverse voices and diverse faces to stand up for justice, for peace, for the human dignity of all. And we are the ones the world is waiting for. So thank you to all of the organizers, to David, to Aaron, to Sui Lang, to all of you here tonight, and to Vote It Loud for this incredible honor. You in this room inspire me to keep doing what I'm doing. And I look forward to working with all of you on this multicultural coalition that was announced tonight. And I will cherish this always, so thank you.
All right, how you folks doing? You good? You good?